Hi, I'm here with a few tips to help you to zoom more confidently and put your best foot forward professionally so you can use each meeting that you have to improve your visibility and promotability. So, first, I want to just walk you through a few tricks in the settings that for Zoom that could help you put your best foot forward. I'm going to go to video first. So soon you'll see me in the Zoom window. How cool is that? Okay, as you can see, I have my green screen background behind me, and that helps if I use a virtual background. But I don't have my big professional floodlight kit. So you see all these shadows behind me? Yeah, they're going to mess up a virtual background. And because here's the thing with virtual backgrounds, they play with the light and the shadows to overlay consistently. And I will show you by applying a background, you can kind of see the edges a little bit more in the shadow. The technology has gotten very much improved. However, this is the telltale sign of a virtual background and why a lot of professionals think it's not professional because it can be a distraction to see what's going on in my fingers there, right? It's a little bit off-putting for some people. Also, it can be a distraction, especially virtual backgrounds like this, which look like you're working from the beach, which for some people is their glorious reality. But again, it's a distraction from the words coming out of your mouth and the impact you can be making in your career. So I always recommend if you don't love what you have in terms of your background, and you have a pretty good light, try out the background blur. You can actually blur your background, and if you hover over it, I believe it gives you some options as well for effects. And then there's good old fashioned none, where you can just turn off all the effects of virtual background. So that's my tip. Make sure you mind your shadows and you have appropriate balanced light. Natural light is great. However, it's not great for virtual backgrounds and green screens. So do your tests. And if you talk with your hands like I do and give heart hands in meetings to show solidarity while on mute, if you're a clapper or anything like that, and you really want to own your Zoom box and show your engagement, it can be a distraction away from your intended message. Okay, so that's one thing that I wanted to share. Next thing that was recently introduced is filters. Filters are great in that they can give a nice, lively, kind of a fresh take on your normal boring Zoom box, right? They have all these different frames and different ways you can share yourself. They are not unilaterally professional for every industry. So if you're from a super conservative, old school industry, I do not recommend using these unless it's a team builder or a lunch and learn, and you're really looking for people to be able to share their personal style or something interesting and their personal choices, right? Some of them can get weird. I know there's tiny hats and glasses and faces and things like that. Feel free to take some time, go into your Zoom settings just on your desktop, just like I'm doing, and just take a look at what makes sense for you. And of course, if you do use any of the fun ones, make sure that you go back and click none to make sure that these don't automatically pop up on every single Zoom you're on. Because I guarantee you, you know, there will be a time. I think everybody's seen that viral video where I think it was some people involved in a legal proceeding, and someone had turned a cat face on their Zoom and they couldn't take it off and they didn't know how to. So that either attorney or judge was doing their entire presentation for the case in cat face. So just don't let that be you. Make sure you go into the settings. Again, settings gear, background and filters, and then none. Now, finally, the last thing I wanted to talk about is the studio effects. Now, these are pretty cool because it's subtle, but I was intrigued because it said it can add eyebrows. And there you go. Now, these eyebrows look insane on me, but I'm sure that whoever designed them thought it was a good idea because it made it through to our public viewing. But if you'll notice, I'm eyebrows on, eyebrows off, eyebrows on, eyebrows off. It's very subtle, but something like that, eyebrows are the curtains of the face. They help define your face. So the more defined your eyebrows are, there's value in that in framing your face. But it can look a little crazy if you don't pick the right shape and it doesn't overlay well. all of these overlays are predicated on you having good, consistent light. That's the other thing. They even have beards if anyone wants to add a beard, just so. And my favorite, which I have used in meetings, is lip color. I don't know if you noticed, but my lip color keeps changing because I keep clicking on all these different colors. So here's what I look like normally. Then I add like a peachy ivory pink, and I can mess with the opacity, and that makes it darker. Or I can go light, and it looks more bold. And there's data to say that women who wear makeup in business meetings have portray more confidence and have more executive presence. Now, that data, when I first learned about it, made me sad because why does the world require us to wear makeup? But once I accepted the world as it is, and I feel that this is a way to help my message get heard. Hey, Zoom will help me if I forget to swipe on some lipstick in my rush to get into my meetings each day. So just know that if you want to turn on a lip color and you picture, after you've turned on your lip color, picture opacity or your eyebrows or your mustache, whatever it is, you can apply it. Click this to apply to all future meetings. So for this specific tool, it requires you to opt in and say, yes, I want it on all my meetings moving forward. Now, again, if you don't have good lighting, do not use these things because it will make you look odd and it will detract from your professionalism. But if you have consistent lighting, either a light kit, like I have a pretty inexpensive, less than $100 light kit that I got from Amazon, and I'll share the link there, as well as for my green screen, my microphone. I don't recommend these things unless you have good light and you can really correct for the shadows. The tech has gotten better. It corrects for shadows, but the better you do, feel free to let me know what you think about this video, and just know that you can do better today. Thanks.